Welcome back to the Castoff. Right now, we still have all 4 of our finalists. After this first watch through of their hard points, we're going to eliminate one before getting to the Search and Destroy cast. But we're about to jump in with a new contestant. This is Gizmo. We saw his earlier vlogs, but this is how he was feeling right before his cast. Was it with you, Matt?
Yeah, it's me.
His cast with Mr. X.
Well, it's Saturday. I'm about to cast with Mr. X. I'm extremely excited about it. To be honest, I like this pairing a lot, and for one reason is that my weakest thing probably right now is my play-by-play, and Mr. X knows 3 million times more than me, so I pretty much add no value from a analytics standpoint. He's going to be able to do that the whole time, so it's going to be important for me to kind of handle the duties as far as play-by-play goes, and I'm excited because I need to improve on it. The main stage is a little bit nerve-wracking, I'll be honest. I was getting pretty comfortable on Bravo at this point. I think just being up there in front of people and knowing how many people will be watching, because it's Phase Red against Optic Nation, it should be an awesome match. I'm excited, still got the nerves, but I'm getting ready to get it going, so I'll talk to you afterwards.
Welcome back to the North American Championship 2015, presented by Xbox. Mr. X, joined in the booth by Gizmo, one of our cast-off contestants. Gizmo, tell the people at home, might not know a little bit about yourself.
All right, so I currently work in broadcast. I'm a meteorologist, and through the cast-off experience, just kind of took a shot on it, didn't expect much, and a couple weeks later, here we are. Yep, and now we're gonna take a look at Phase Red. We'll start off Phase Red, several good players on this team. Aches, for me, he's the one that really drives this. He's been playing fantastic so far this tournament. If he keeps playing that way, watch out for this team. He has been on a tear. That .92 KD, a little bit low, but I'm sure that will be coming up. That was for Season 1. Moving on to Enable, probably my breakout star so far for AW. Yeah. He's been unbelievable. Top 5 player right now, absolutely dominating as the Slayer on this Phase Red team. Fantastic player. And moving on now, next player coming up is Parasite. As far as all around goes,
guy does it all.
One. Yeah, what doesn't he do? Earlier on, he was 5-5 in S&D. So if he's only 5-5 and his teammates are playing better than that, watch out for this Phase team. He's incredible in Respawn, even better in my opinion in S&D. And finally, and certainly not last but not least, Slasher. He's been fantastic. Heard Enable talking about it a couple tournaments ago, that he actually thought Austin was doing everything better than him. So that's kind of a scary thought. When you put all of those 4 players together, if they're running on all cylinders, tough to beat this team.
It's a very scary thought. You've been casting over on the Bravo stream. You've seen some of Phase Red. What have you seen so far from them?
Yeah, actually, I've casted both of Phase Red so far, and they've absolutely dominated. And the player that, in those intros we were talking about, Aches, has been on fire so far. If he continues that right now, they should be in good shape against Nation. Yeah, absolutely. He's been just absolutely slaying out pretty much every map so far. And he's impressed me S&D as well, not just a Slayer. I've been impressed with him pretty much in all facets of his game. If this Phase Red team is on, it's tough to do anything against
If this Phase Red team is on and playing together and not arguing.
Yeah, I think sometimes people let that attitude get in the way and they forget really how good of a player he's been and how long he's been doing this at a very high rate. If you put that aside, a lot of big egos, and if they can all blend together, it's going to be a fantastic tournament for them, and really champs as a whole should be awesome.
Absolutely. And Gizmo, who do you want to start off on board with here first?
Let's go on board with Parasite. We've been talking about him. We've been hyping him up. Now he's got to perform for me. Yeah, so far 26-1. Yeah, that is a big lead in FaZe's favor, and they're adding on to it right now. Let's check out the rotation here to the second hill. It's going to be extremely important with only 6 seconds left. FaZe is getting that scrap time, but Matt, what does it look like for the rotation from Optic Nation? It's going to be so important when you're trailing by this much already.
So Optic Nation has beaten FaZe to this second hard point. You're going to see Karma up top. He's going to get that melee kill on Enable. Enable starting off hot in this game, 6-3.
Yeah, Enable taken out there. Parasite now trying to flood into this hill at Eskies, and he's going to pick up 1 kill. I think he saw another one. He picks up 2. That's a huge 2-piece right now for Parasite on a 2-streak, but he finally falls, and 20 seconds left now. Optic Nation controlling this hard point, but Aches has something to say about that. He's trying to come in. Him and Enable both now holding this down for the last 10, and now you're starting to see that rotation on. You can see the Optic Nation players already moving. Matt, how do you want to rotate this to this hill specifically?
You know, when you'll either spawn over on Elbow, where you saw Karma spawn. I had him highlighted on.
Yeah, right now you're just looking at the kill feed, and it's pretty much all FaZe so far. Another one for Slasher. Can he get the second? Yes, he can. He's on a 4 streak. Parasite's on a 3 streak. That makes 4 now for Parasite and both Slasher. Now they're just holding down this window. They're just all flying in here from the green side. It's going to be very difficult, and finally taken down by a player on top, Crane.
Does not look good for ON. They can't seem to break, and even when they rotate early and they hold, they still seem to get outslayed.
Yeah, right now, Parasite going off. He's already 14-6 on a 2-streak. Look at Enable, 15-9 on a 2-streak. Aches picking up kills. When they're playing like this, what can you do? Look at that score right now. They're beating them by 100 points.
We talked about it a little bit in the pregame. You know, when this team is hot, they are a team that has a roster that can only be matched by one other roster in Call of Duty, and that is Optic Gaming. So FaZe coming out, really living up to their potential here through the first rotations of Hills, going into the last one. You know, pretty dominant performance by them thus far.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but your biggest worry is taking a loss and then they start bickering a little bit. You know what the best cure for that is? Winning. And when you're winning like this,
it's a very good point, Gizmo. FaZe's whole kind of thing as a team is, you know, they argue time to time. It's very difficult to argue when you're below 20 right now. You can't really win with somebody playing that negative. You're going to need him to step it up big time here in the second rotation.
How frustrating is that as a player? I was watching Orbit yesterday. They were making all the right rotations but just weren't winning the gunfights. When you're doing everything right, how frustrating is it to still be down by so much?
It's frustrating. It really is when you're making the right plays but just not winning those gunfights, but just didn't win your gunfights.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Parasite working down towards this hard point. 20 seconds left, and it is still a big lead in FaZe's favor, though Optic Nation is starting to chip into that. Aches picks up a kill. He's looking for one more, but he's taken down. That's Killer picking up the kill. That's 2 now for Killer. He's on a 2-streak. Miracle's on a 2-streak, and TP on a 2-streak. So they're starting to heat up a little bit, taking out the barrels. Last 5 seconds here of scrap time. The rotation needs to be on already.
They wasted a ton of time here, Gizmo, to be completely honest with you. They could have rotated a little bit earlier, didn't need to take all that time in that middle one. See, Karma, he's actually going to pick up one with that machine turret, and they're going to try and push this all the way from Snow. As soon as they get this, Gizmo, I need to see one player from Optic Nation really push out Green Plat, because you see the players from FaZe converging on the hard point fast.
Yeah, they all are right now. You can see pretty much every player on your mini-map, but look how far out the Optic Nation players are spawning out right now. Not in good shape when you have 2 or 3 players from FaZe holding down this hard point. Parasite and Aches both, and you just talked about it. Aches inside the hard point, but his teammates pushing it out and keeps pushing that spawn back for Optic Nation.
As long as he didn't have a weekend like Season 1 champs, I thought this team would be fine.
So now the rotation, and this is a big hill. To be honest, if Optic Nation has any chance.
This is the game, right?
Yeah, right here. They need to be picking up some time. Parasite already in the hill, though. Miracle's trying to throw a few stuns out. He does stun one player. Can he pick up the kill? He does. Now he's going to try and break this. Parasite's peeking that, and there's no way you're coming through there.
And Parasite really just dominating on this hill, gonna pick up a second one.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about not only his respawn game, but his S&D is fantastic. He's been holding down this hard point for, I think, the entire duration so far. Another huge kill coming in. Ache slides right into that hard point. You love the change of what you used to call the anchor, pushing into the hard point. One player dies, but one more right in. Just not giving Optic Nation a chance here.
And FaZe, they can fix that. Let's just move on to the next one. You're gonna see a strong performance from Optic Nation S&D.
Yeah, they're going on a solar now, so what do you expect from both of these teams? Can Optic Nation put that one behind them? That's kind of a demoralizing loss to start out the series.
It's a demoralizing loss to start the series out, but these players are all world champions, all veterans of the game. Definitely expect to put that one to the side, chalk it up as a loss. Not really going to be too worried.
All right, so that was a look at Gizmo's first cast on the main stage. That was with Mr. X for game number 1. Let's start off. I'm just going to kick things off with my notes. Matt, we'll save you last because you're the one who actually got a chance to cast with him. In his vlog, he just kind of had the terminology wrong, although I think he was just a little nervous recording it. He was saying, you know, he's really looking forward to doing analysis because Mr. X dominates the play-by-play. But then he says, you know, really looking forward to doing the play-by-play and just kind of contradicting himself. But that was in the vlog. But I thought he would correct it when they went live, but it seemed like you both were just having an analytical conversation throughout the game. It was more of a kind of learning session than it was actually calling the play-by-play and the action. There was a little bit of play-by-play, and we really showed you every single time he talked during that game. That's basically the direction I gave our editors. Very little play-by-play. I marked down only 3 times was he actually calling the action, and when he was calling the action, he didn't read the kill feed. He said, kill gets a kill gets another kill here, instead of adding in that additional detail. Tell me, who did Kill just take down? He did transition out of it, and he read how many kills each person on the team is on a streak with, which was 2 each. So it was kind of a smooth transition. Couldn't knock him on the flow too much there, but I did knock him on the accuracy for not giving me more information.
For me, kick things off with something pretty positive. Great posture and presence. As soon as the camera cut to him, I was like, he looks like he belongs.
Yeah.
He looks like he belongs up on that main stage. Obviously, he has definite
training.
past. Right, yeah, he has kind of past history with that, but still, it definitely went through. There was a couple of slight stumbles on the play cards. It felt like he ran out of stuff to say about Enable, for example. He was kind of, and the next player, the next player we're going to see is going to be.
He said Enable is a top 5 player, but he didn't tell us why. He just very good.
You want him to kind of run with that thought a little bit more. Minimal play-by-play. And the thing that really highlighted that for me was you're on board with Parasite. You say, who do you want to go on board with? He goes, Parasite. You switch over to Parasite. You see him with a shotgun on the first hill. Zero mention of that. Stops talking, and it goes back to you. And it's like, that's when you run with it. You're
that's
like,
attack 19, bro.
No, Parasite's got a shotgun. What's he going to do with it on the first hill? Sees, I believe he actually started off on a 4-kill.
You could talk about that for
forever.
The whole hill.
Right. That was something which definitely stuck out to me. Eventually, he looks like he belonged there. Really, he adapted very well to casting with Matt, I think, because casting with Matt is very different than casting with us. I wrote that after maybe 2 minutes of that video. And then, no, I mean, because I can ask you questions, and then it's very kind of, it's different. It's a different feel. It's always different no matter who you cast with. But then, I have to ask you, did it feel like he asked you too many questions?
Yeah, I think there's a way to kind of ask those questions without
telling the answer.
Just really, or even just asking the question. You can kind of set it up, read the kill feed, kind of do the play-by-play, and then mention, oh, there are players going over this way, and then I kind of take it from there and explain why they're going that way and what's going to happen when they all kind of meet up and get there. No, player cards ran out of gas a little bit, didn't really know what to talk about towards the end. I'm actually, it's kind of cool that he was excited to try and tackle the play-by-play on the main stage. Shows not really afraid to mess some things up, just kind of a learning experience, really ready to hit things head on. The key player matchup, didn't mention that at all when it came on. That was something that I was kind of like,
program out monitor. Look at this.
Yeah.
Was he staring at you while talking about it? Because I do that to Ben all the time. I just get lost in these eyes. He's like, yes, all right. And, of course, that's Killa here with a 1 point.
No, but the analysis was good. It was a good conversation, but I think there just needed to be a lot more play-by-play.
Okay. Yeah, it was a little bit more of a conversational piece than it was a commentary over the game. I did want to note, I had one other thing here written down. FaZe Red. There's several good players on this team, was the initial description.
True.
One of the top teams in competitive Call of Duty right now with 2 world champions are slightly better than several good players.
Yeah, he was nervous.
But that was my other kind of knock. The one thing I did want to mention that he did really well was talking about Aches. Aches is going off today. The numbers here are from Season 1. Again, providing that context to the audience, I'm expecting him to put up something a little bit higher in this series. I thought that was just like on point.
Even when he ran out of things to talk about Slasher, you could have just brought Aches right back up and talked how they've bickered back and forth, even if you don't really know that much about Slasher. I mean, you've seen the tweets and whatnot, you can kind of bring that stuff up. So you can always kind of mix some things around like that with the player cards.
I agree. Have you got anything else from casting with him?
No, it was good to cast with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the analysis stuff, so it was great for me. Play-by-play definitely just needs to work on a little bit more, but otherwise, great camera presence, great guy.
I do remember you came to me afterwards because I asked you how'd he do, and you said I kept waiting for him to do the play-by-play, but
Same thing with me, right?
Doing the analysis. So
interesting.
Something interesting to point out there, a little bit of role confusion or just a little, you go into what you feel most comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. Up next, though, we're going to take a look at Ron the Don. He's been a fan favorite on Reddit. We'll see how he performed when the pressure was on the alpha stage.